In our second episode of Women Who Wow, we are meeting the founder of Troovy, Mansi Baranwal. Thank you so much, Mansi, for having us here. And your house looks lovely.
Thank you.
Well, you have a son. So, how has your journey been as a mother, and what made you start Troovy?
I mean, as you can imagine, like most entrepreneurs, Troovy is something very close to my heart, comes from my personal experience with my son. And so he used to be somewhat of a picky eater when he was younger, and that sort of started me on this journey to understand how can we make food which is more nutritious. Also, he would constantly ask me, like, why can't I eat this stuff that my friends are eating, right? Why can't I eat chips? Why can't I have the milk mix? That, why should I have plain milk? Why can't I have ketchup, right? And so those constant questions and why can't it be healthy, right, led me down that journey of exploration of why in fact can't these things be healthy. So obviously all of this was happening at home, right? I want to obviously feed more nutrition to my son, and he's asking for these products that I'm not able to give him. And so it was almost like a no-brainer that why don't we make healthier versions of these products, right? That can also deliver nutrition. Like, why can't chips have protein, right?
Yeah.
Why can't sauces have veggies and vitamins and minerals, right? Why can't your milk mix be actually healthy and not just for namesake, right? Because I'd worked with most large FMCG companies in India, so I had a lot of sort of market data, market understanding, right? And from that perspective, also it was very clear that this nutrition market for children is a huge gap, right? And it's definitely a huge requirement. It's going to come up, and I saw an opportunity from a market perspective as well. Yeah.
So, in which year did you exactly start Troovy?
So I actually started working on it in around January of 2022, and we launched our first product only around July of 23, I want to say. Yeah. So it took us almost a year and a half of research, talking to people, having conversations, failing at R&D many times before we were able to launch.
How did you balance to appeal children with Troovy in terms of taste as well as its nutritional needs?
Yeah, so actually we have a third co-founder that not many people know about, which is my son Vihan, right? And so he's an equal stakeholder in the company's success, right? And so we work very closely with him for the first, I would say, 20-25 iterations. He's the one who says, yuck or yum. And so he's been, I think, instrumental in making sure that the products are approved by kids. And then obviously we do a lot of kids tasting. So the way we do it is, first we'll taste 20 iterations with him, and then some iterations would go through small groups of children, say 6, 7. And so there'll be multiple iterations of that. And then finally, before launch, each product goes through like 50, 60 children. Wow. Kind of a taste test. And we only launch if more than 90% say that, they love it.
What was the first-hand experience of Vihan and, other children?
They're very tough audience. They're not like adults. They don't understand that this is healthy, yeah. So it's okay for it to be slightly less tasty. And so extremely difficult to please, extremely difficult to manage, extremely difficult to sort of pin down and ask serious questions for like 5-10 minutes. I think it's a skill in itself.
So according to you, what are the most pressing problems in children's nutrition?
Childhood malnutrition is big in India, right? I mean, even in the richest households, almost like 60-70% of the kids have some deficiency or the other, right? Obviously, I mean, we don't say that, we're a replacement for home meals. Nothing can replace that, and nothing should replace that, right? That's the best food for a growing child. But we, in our own way, are trying to supplement the nutrition that they're getting every day.
What were the most important partnerships and collaborations that have been instrumental in Troovy's success so far?
There's a lot. I mean, when you're building a brand, there's a lot of people who get you there, right? It's never an individual effort. So you sort of stand tall on top of other shoulders. So obviously there's a lot of partnerships, vendors, manufacturers, team members, of course, right? Who get you there. I think I mean, a few key, I would say, is definitely our manufacturers, right, who don't question our craziness when we say that you have to make a product absolutely without any preservatives, additives, stabilizers, emulsifiers, thickeners, sequestrants. You can't use any of that, right? And obviously our R&D team before the manufacturers, that takes on that challenge. And also our channel partners, like I feel like especially quick commerce channel partners like Blinkit have been fairly instrumental in getting us where we are.
So, what are the latest technologies used by Troovy?
That's that's a big secret. So
We would like to know the secrets.
wouldn't you? Wouldn't everyone?
How's your routine overall, in balancing motherhood as well as being an entrepreneur?
It's chaotic, it's crazy, unpredictable, but it's fun, right? Mostly weekdays are more for work and weekends are more for Vihan in general, and that's something that I try to stick by as much as possible. But beyond that, it's just everyday madness to be managed, right? At work especially, yeah.
As a women entrepreneur, what sort of challenges did you face in the start of Troovy?
Everything was hard, I was not from a food technology background, right? I definitely had worked with a lot of FMCG companies, a lot of food companies, so at a high level I knew how the business works, right? But it was extremely hard. I think the hardest part was the R&D, because even till the day we launched, and I was already a year and a half in, we didn't know if what we're trying is feasible, right? We didn't know if a sauce can be made that's absolutely chemical free and has high nutrition and tastes amazing. So it was really tough. It was mind-numbing, nerve-wracking, all of those things. I think so. That was the first challenge, right? R&D was a big challenge. Obviously, funding is another challenge that literally every entrepreneur faces. Thankfully, we were lucky to have people who believed in us very early on in our network, and that was our friends and family around. A lot of Bain partners participated in that, which was where I was working before. And then after that also we found very good investing partners, and it sort of worked out for us. But yes, it was definitely a challenge in the beginning. As we grew, operations was a major challenge to solve. Similarly, obviously marketing is a challenge, but it's already solved by a lot of people, so there are playbooks to doing that, etc. But I do think that the innovation part of it had no playbook, and that was a challenge.
What message would you like to give to the aspiring women entrepreneurs?
I would say you don't know what will hit, so you just got to keep trying different things, right? It's just a little unpredictable. A lot of the stuff that we think when we're starting out, the way startups work, it doesn't actually work that way, right? You just need those one or two things to go in your favor. Everything doesn't need to go right. Like, not every product needs to be successful. Not every channel needs to work for you. Not every investor needs to say yes to you, right? You just need those 2-3 things to go right, and that's the belief that you got to keep working with. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mansi, for giving such great insights about your whole journey, your time. We hope that the dynamics of tasty food change eventually, and people shift to a healthier and diet-friendly future.
I think that's bound to happen. I think that is the only possible future. It'll only go towards the better. I think India is going to leapfrog the world in terms of how healthy our packaged food can be. I already see that happening. I think we leapfrog the world in mobile usage. We have already leapfrogged the world in our how clean our BPC products, beauty and personal care products are becoming. And I think that's definitely going to happen in food as well. We're a country that believes in natural. We're a country that believes in healthy. We're a country that, very naturally believes in all of these things. And I see that it's bound to happen. I mean, it's written on the wall.